Yo, welcome to an episode of Superkick Podcast. I'm your host, Ringside P. Hope you guys are enjoying the week so far. It's hump day, so we're going to get a couple days to the weekend. Hope you guys are going to have a good weekend, and I hope the week so far has been good for you guys. Those of you guys that go to work, those of you that don't go to work, which hours you guys. Before we get started, I'm going to cover the draft, not as in detail as most other shows would do, just because man, the draft is kind of whack to me. But before I get into all of that, make sure you like, subscribe, share, comment, give me feedback. Check out my reels, check out my shorts, check out me on Spotify, check out the Superkick store, all that good stuff. Got another episode of What If was going to be dropping after this. So stay here. Don't go nowhere. Stay on my page. Make sure you, like I keep saying, man, like, hit the notification bell, do all that good stuff that you're supposed to do while you're here. Man, what do you guys think of the draft so far? We had night one on Friday. We had night two this past Monday. We had some other drafts posted through IG and on socials and stuff like that. For me, before I get started into that, like I said, man, I just wasn't really into that into drafts that much this year. I don't know why, but I'm gonna get into the episode of Monday Night Raw. I'm not sure how I feel about Michael Cole and Pat McAfee kicking off each week. Maybe they're just doing it because it's the draft or whatnot. Not that it's whack. Maybe it takes me some getting used to or whatnot. So maybe they might make some adjustments, because I don't like either you're gonna be inside the ring and you kick off Monday Night Raw, or you're gonna be outside in the corner. I'd rather you guys just be inside the ring, because it's just, to me, visually just looks better. You in the center of the ring, you got the fans, the crowd in the background and whatnot, and you guys kicking off Monday Night Raw, whatever the case may be. But yeah, I would get into how basic the draft feels to me. It's just like boring, man. Like I feel like it's taken away from the energy of the show, Smackdown and Monday Night Raw. Like I think I want my matches, I want my story, and I know the draft is part of the story, because you're drafting people to different rosters to create new stories, storylines or whatnot. So it is needed. I guess I just wish they would make it more entertaining, for me. Maybe something to do like where the crowd is more involved, or the fans or us are more involved, like some type of like interactive thing, the way they used to have Cyber Monday or Taboo Tuesdays like back in the day. And even if it doesn't come out to be this way, where just have it so like, we want to vote for X, Y, and Z to be on Raw or SmackDown. Or maybe we create some brackets, and whoever has the closest bracket wins something, whether it's a gift card or just something to build the interest a little bit more, for at least for myself. I don't know for anyone else. Did you guys enjoy it? Did you guys not enjoy it? But for me, like I say, it was just like boring, man. It really just slowed down the tempo of the show for me. Like I said, because I guess we in that in between phase, like we after WrestleMania, and then we got Backlash, and it's like, well, nothing is really going on, and we can't really establish anything, because it's just after Mania. Everything started new, is new season WWE. But like, man, we can get rid of the draft, or just strictly just hold it through socials or something like that, because outside of the wrestlers getting drafted from NXT, which seems to have the most authenticity, the realness of just feels real, is because watching them get drafted was great, because it seems like they didn't know at all. So either it's great acting on their part, or it's a real feeling, like real genuine feeling, and seeing different wrestlers, just the emotion come out of them being called up to the main roster was great to see. But we didn't get to see that from the guys, the people that are wrestlers already on the main roster, because they're already there. So what kind of difference does that make? They already going to either be drafted back to Raw or be drafted back to SmackDown. I mean, we had some people switch, but for the most part, I felt like a lot of the superstars are still on the same brand that they were already on. So like, once again, like, what's the point? For me, I don't know, man. I just think the draft just needs a boost in a way. We leave the draft. No, we're still on the draft, because I think it's important to notice that, or point out that Stephanie McMahon still gets called Stephanie McMahon, and maybe she just hasn't had a name change or whatever. But I feel like it's a point made to have her on the show, which is cool. To still have the McMahon name, I guess, affiliated with WWE in a sense, even though Vince did what he did, and so he had to go, and that's rightfully so. But I think so many of us has grew up with WWF or WWE and having the McMahon name tied to WWE in a way, just for the longer, just feels like it's natural in a sense. As long as everyone doing what they're supposed to do and acting right, I'm cool with it. But I feel like it's a conscious decision made for her to be called Stephanie McMahon when she comes out that way. And maybe just me reading more into it. Maybe it's nothing at all to go with that. I will highlight some things like Imperium still on Raw, Jade Cargill on SmackDown still. Damage Control moved over, which is cool because I do like that they kept them as a team, still as a faction, and it's good that they didn't break up after WrestleMania so far. I hope that they continue to try to do more with them. Raw is filled with heels, so I hope they take the time and the effort to really build them up and make them a dominant faction on Monday Night Raw. Because I feel like it wasn't kind of the same. It wasn't like that on SmackDown. Yeah, they just played the numbers game and they outnumbered everyone. But I want them to come out and like wreck shop, man, for the women's division and hopefully build that up some. Gunther got some new moves, which is cool. Some new submissions, or maybe just I won't say the new moves. It's just moves that I haven't seen before him do. Beat the brakes off at Xavier Woods, which I didn't like. I feel like the New Day is always the team, either to put people over or just, I don't know, man. Like everything is taken out on the New Day. They might get a win here and there, but for the majority of the time, I feel like they're always taking losses, and I hate that, man. Like I think they have another great tag team running them. Maybe it's because Big E isn't around, but Woods and Kofi can still go. They're still very entertaining. I just want more for them just because I'm just a big New Day fan in general. What else? I'm pretty sure it looks like, man, there's no one that's going to stop Gunther from being king of the ring. He's unstoppable. He will make a great king of the ring, and I think he will bring back the prestige to the king of the ring. And not saying that when Woods had it lost prestiginess. I just think that they didn't push it. WWE didn't push it. For whatever reason was, maybe because it was partly during the pandemic era or whatnot. But I feel like with Gunther as king of the ring, I think it's going to be crazy and it's going to be dope. And it seems like winning king or queen of the ring instantly gives you opportunity at the world at the title, or whether it's the WWE or world title. So we know somewhere down the line, Gunther's going to be champion. I feel it. I think this year. By the end of the year, I think Gunther is world champion. I think he gets the world championship because him and Cody are on separate brands right now. That match will probably come up maybe in a couple years or something like that. But I think this year we will see Gunther as world champion. We got Dirty Dom being dirty, having meetings with Liv Morgan in the back, which is further proves that I feel like Dom is just going to collect as much heat as possible. He's never going to be a face. He's best as a heel. He grew this nasty mustache. This adds to him just looking like a jerk, So I can't wait for Rhea to come back, and I know Dom is just gonna stab Rhea in the back, create more heat on him. Liv's gonna be champion at some point, and he probably get Liv and Dom together in a sense, and just heat, man, just straight heat on Don for the rest of his time being until I think he has his match with Rey Mysterio, probably WrestleMania 41. Because there's another thing too, LWO is back on with LWO is on Monday Night Raw, so Rey Mysterio is back on Raw. So we know we're gonna get some more of those in between actions between Dom and Ray. We already had one of those at Raw. So I like to see Dom versus Rey Mysterio at WrestleMania 41 in a retirement match. And Dom wins by cheating and just adds more heat to himself, being the ultimate heel in WWE by WrestleMania 41. What else kind of stood out? Punk is on Raw, which is, I feel like we knew that. Bobby Lashley and Street Profits and B-Fab are officially known as the Pride. I know it was rumored before, but now they're actually known as the Pride. But they're still on SmackDown. Braun Strowman's coming back. He came back kind of still the same way as he was before, running through wrestlers and superstars and stuff like that. I'm hoping that they kind of incorporate him into his Uncle Howdy stuff whenever that pops off. I want him to be a part of that. I just don't know where he fits solo in WWE. I think he fits best in a group setting for himself. Nothing else. As far as like draft wise, Dragunov moved up from NXT, which was cool, and I think that he's going to end up joining up with Imperium now that Giovanni is out, and so I think that's going to be a dope addition to that. I feel like the women's division needs help. We're real injured, and the rest of the division kind of like split up into, like I say, like tag teams, and just like I feel like there's 3 wrestlers that are just in singles competition. You know, you got Becky, you got Liv. Nia went over to SmackDown, and so it's like, well, who else can really go for the title? You know, who else you can put it in a singles match outside of Natalya, who I think is also back on Raw again. I'll put the pictures up, everybody. I ain't gonna get into like what round everybody got drafted in and anything like that. But I really hope that they come through with a mid-card women's title just to help out the division, create some balance on the division. It was nice seeing some more wrestlers from NXT being called up to the women's division on Raw and SmackDown. So that will hopefully they will add to that. And I hope they don't put them into a tag team and they can be the singles wrestlers for the time being. So I'm looking to see what they can do with that. Like I say, this is to beef up the women's division, the solo part more. You know, I don't need any more women tag teams, especially if you're not really doing anything critical with the tag team championships. Once Jade and Bianca win, what's next? You know, are they gonna be defending them more and more? Are they gonna go over to the different brands more often and defend them? Are you gonna see them interacting with different rosters and superstars? That's what I want for those tag team championships. Like, show them off more. Let them be able to do more with them. I don't like the champions that just hold the belt and nothing is done with them. You know, they don't even have, whether you don't see them on TV and you just know they're the champions, or they just don't defend at all or have any matches. You know, it's just like y'all just champions, just placeholders, you know, for the time being, which isn't really cool. Final Testament went over to Raw. DIY went over to SmackDown, which I don't think they might not last as a tag team. They probably are best individually, and we might get something between them like they used to have back in NXT. I definitely feel like heel Liv is coming, especially since she's been associated more and more with the last 2 weeks with Dominic Mysterio. So I think that heel turn is coming for Liv. We heard it a little bit. We heard the fans cheer for Rhea Ripley when Liv had came out. So I feel like that's coming. It's only a matter of time when that's going to happen. I think that's the best thing to do. The one thing I want to put on for the draft that I really, really hated was the War Rooms. The War Rooms are trash. It's so phony. It looks so fake. This emotion, it just looked like it's just staged. Like, why do we need that? Like, I really love the atmosphere that NXT has set up. You know, all the wrestlers in the little performance center. You got the fans surrounding them, and they all sitting there just waiting to see who gets called up, and they get called up, and then the emotion. It's like a real draft. That felt like the real like NFL, NBA draft. Those are the 2 drafts I ever watched. drafts, like that emotion. I hope they continue to try to do that. If you're gonna do the draft, do it like that with those guys, with those men and women down there. I don't know how you can improve the draft on the main roster besides like say trying to make it more interactive with the fans. I say even if we do a vote and WWE doesn't go even stick to the vote, they still do their own thing because they probably got storylines set up. I still want it to be like, yo, just get us involved. Get us involved more. Just so I'm not just sitting there just watching the screen and the show just go downhill or just drag along because of the draft, And like say, even if you guys can take the time, and that was 10 rounds, and then a lot of the wrestle picks will just do after on IG. I mean, y'all could have did all that on IG alone or on X or Twitter or whatever the case may be, or just have some show or Peacock. Use Peacock to do that. Like, I don't know, man. Don't take away from my Smackdown and Monday Night Raw. I'm already tired, dude, by the time. That 3 hours, that third hour of Raw last night or the other night just dragged, I felt. Like, I didn't even make it to the end of the match. I ended up watching the next day. Just because, like, man, I was ready to knock out, yo. I guess the other thing, we had more cryptic messages. Like I said, I know we all can safely assume that it's going to be Uncle Hardy or the Wyatt Six, or this something that they do with Bray Wyatt, the Fiend, and all that. Just when is it all coming together? Like when and what paper Backlash could be, because Backlash kind of just feels like doesn't really have. I mean, how can you live the WrestleMania 40, right? But Backlash doesn't really have that oomph to me. So maybe that could be the spot or the event where we see with all these cryptic messages, all these pieces to the puzzle finally come together. I can't imagine it being Clash at the Castle. Clash at the Castle seems bigger than Backlash, even though both of them are overseas. But I don't know, I'm thinking Backlash. Backlash probably would be a good thing for Uncle Hardy or whoever to debut that night. Because I feel like it was Extreme Rules. You had Seth Rollins versus Matt Riddle. And at the end of the night, then we had Bray Wyatt return. So maybe we could get the same thing at Backlash. That would make Backlash, not saying Backlash is going to be whack now, but I think that would really add to it, is we finally get to see with all these QR codes, all these messages, all this hopping on the internet, typing in passwords and whatever, clues and stuff is going to lead to. I'm just kind of scrolling down and see what else stands out from the draft for me. Nothing really, man. Just like, yeah, nothing. Like, I want to keep it like short and sweet with this episode, just because, like I say, the drafting stood out. And I mean, the main parts was like Gunther. Like, Gunther is the man. He's going to be the future of WWE, I think, going forward. Like, once he become King of the Ring, like I said before, man, it's going to be a big change with him. And like, he already. I mean, what more can you want for him? Like, besides the World Heavyweight Championship, he was champion, Intercontinental Champion for 666 days. And like, he just took care of business when he was out there. So that's cool. I think that's happening. But it does feel like there's a unbalance on Raw between the heels and the faces. I feel like there are way more heels on Raw than it is faces on Raw. So it's like, you need that balance, man. Like, who are they gonna like go against? Like, we got Sammy, CM Punk is injured, Seth Rollins is injured, Chad Gable, he's heel. We got the Alpha Academy, we got Awesome Truth, but I feel like the Creed Brothers are going to be turning heel soon, just to join up with Chad Gable. You still got the Judgment Day on there. Drew McIntyre, heel. I think Dragunov is going to join up with Imperium, so that's another heel. New Day is New Day, but like I said, they don't really do much with the New Day. You got Final Testament, who are another 3 guys that are all heel. So it's like, man, like there's a lot of heels. Bronson Reed on there. That's just from Monday's pick. Just all heels, on there. What we got from Jay Uso? Yeah, he's a face, but I don't know how much longer Jay Uso is really gonna be in the main event, man. Like I don't see him winning at Backlash against Damian Priest. We got LWO. Those are faces, but they're gonna be tied up with Carlito. Carlito's a heel. Braun Breaker. I don't know what they're gonna do with Braun Breaker. He had an interaction with Sheamus, and he seems like he might not be the friendliest guy anymore. There's no smiles with Braun Breaker. We got Ricochet and Sheamus, but I think sooner or later Sheamus gonna be tied up with Drew McIntyre again, or he might turn heel. Ricochet is Ricochet. He's not turning heel, but Ricochet's in that mid card range. So it's like, what are we gonna have a match eventually between Ricochet? Well, no, he's champion. He's speed champion, so he's set already, kind of. That's about it. I know. It just feels like there's just more heels than faces on Monday Night Raw, and I feel like Smackdown is the land of the faces. Because maybe when they go to Netflix Raw, all these heels gonna just mean this crazy amount of just cussing, blood, everything going wild, just amped up in the level of entertainment. So I think that's what it seems like. Yeah, it seems like Raw is heels and SmackDown is faces. I could be wrong, but what do you guys think? Let me know. What was you guys' opinion about the draft? Would you guys sit through another draft next year? You guys want them to get rid of the draft? You want them to do something else with the draft? Maybe just make it all just strictly on IG or just do socials or whatever. Or did you love the draft? I don't know, man. Let me know. Like I said, comment below. Until next time, check out my what if. I got a pretty good one. I got the immortal Hulk Hogan versus Mr. You Can't See Me, John Cena himself. One-on-one match to see who's gonna win. There's no really stakes. It's not that for the championship because it's all what if. So, man, John Cena versus Hulk Hogan, one-on-one match to see if Hulkamania still runs wild or is it stopped by the C Nation. Check it out. It's coming on after this. But until next time, make sure you like, subscribe, share, comment, like I said, all that good stuff. And I will talk to you guys again Sunday. If you don't see, I got some lives coming on. I'm on a live this Friday after SmackDown with the Square Circle Boys. I'm also putting together some other stuff with some of my other guys. Another little show. So I'll keep you guys posted and updated with that. So make sure you guys check that out. What else? I think that's it, man. That is for sure. It is it right now. Adios. Peace.